Mike Richardson, what was it like to work with another writer?
Well, this is the first time I've worked with another person for an extended period of time. And when Mike called me to ask me about illustrating this, at first I was hesitant because, I grew up with the story of the 47th Road. I knew it from, must be like the 3rd grade. And so I just said, well, I'm 47th Road, but do you know about the 48th Road? They told me, yes, that's who's telling the story. And I thought that was a stroke of genius. It's never been done before. No, I think it was 47 Road has been turned into movies, operas, and everything, in like 150 different types of, movies or TV series. And in all that time, that's never been done. There was a Ronin, a samurai, who was buried along with them. And he was not part of the original 47, but because of circumstances. So, and Mike knew about that. So I thought it was brilliant. So I said, yes, I'm on board.
Can I ask a follow-up to that? It seems that adaptation really does fit in a way. It sounds like the many different genres that you talked about, adventure, romance. Do you find that the influence of story, as well as visual artists, did you find yourself being influenced by stories specifically like this one?
Oh, yeah, definitely. The real life stories, stories from everywhere from different lands. Incidentally, for the 47 Ronin, all the scenes of the temple, Sengakuji Temple, were from my photographs, because I had visited there prior to working on the series. And like I said, this is very special to me. Just about any person of Japanese descent, who knows anything about history, knows about the 47 Ronin, and it's that much of an impact in history. So, for me to take this on, it was, I was at first a bit hesitant just because, I was a bit overwhelmed, but I'm so glad I did it. And Mike was a pleasure to work with. He was open to suggestions. He wanted this to be a true collaboration. So he encouraged me to make the few suggestions that I did, and he was very open to it. And I tossed things in, like I think it was the Emperor at the time. I think it was some Yoshi or someone. Was called the Dog Emperor. So I had little dogs running around the streets of Edo whenever I drew a street scene, and wanted to do something historical like that.
What inspired you to make Usagi Yojimbo comics?
Well, I grew up reading comics. Comics gave me my love of reading in general. And I wanted to do a comic book series inspired by the life of a real-life samurai named Miyamoto Musashi. But one day while drawing in my sketchbook, I drew a drawing of a rabbit with his ears tied up into a chonma with a samurai top knot. And I loved the design. It was unique, very simple. And that's how Usagi Yojimbo was born.
Is it possible, when you say that, so it doesn't sound like it was a conscious, it sounds like maybe sometimes you draw and does that still happen with you?
It does. Either drawings like that may lead to a story, or, just an idea for different character designs, backgrounds, anything.
Do you feel sorry for killing off Noodles because you made me sad?
Noodles is a character in the story called Noodles, and basically he was crucified at the end. And it was, that story won a Haxter Award in Spain. He was nominated for the Eisner Award. I thought it was a pretty gripping story. It was tragic and it was funny at the same time, but it was a very moving story, I thought.
Have you read the script? I think this refers to the script that we're doing tonight. And how accurate is Stuart Melton's adaptation? Before you answer that, let me explain briefly. We're the American premiere, but this play was done in England. And Stuart Melton is the adapter who read quite a bit, although I think you can fill in some more about this, read quite a bit of Usagi, and then tried to come up with an 18-scene play with 30-plus years of work. So I'm curious, if you were here, how did he filter that all down? But have you read the script? How close do you think? How accurate is Stuart?
Oh, I've read the script, and it's a completely different take on Usagi. For one thing, his mother it has a prominent role in the story, which I never even discussed this whether in the comic books. But no, I love the script. I thought the story was wonderful. The only thing I regret about not seeing the London performance is I would have loved to have heard Usagi speak that with a British accent.
We'll ask our guy if he can help you out. He's quite proficient. What's your favorite place in Portland?
Well, Dark Horse Comics has this. So I got to say Milwaukee.
Also, what's your favorite place in the world? You visited a lot of places in the world. Where have you been?
You know, I love going to Japan. I would go to Japan at any time. Other places would be the Emerald Coast of France, like Mont Saint-Michel and that whole Brittany, Normandy area. I love that. Like you said, I was just in Italy 30 hours ago, and you know, I enjoy traveling, and it's a blessing because I grew up in Hawaii, and I never thought I'd ever be to visit other places other than whatever's on the rock, but it's been neat.
How long does it take you to draw a page of Usagi?
Well, I try to draw a page a day when I work. It generally takes me about 5 weeks to do an entire story from initial idea to the time I send the final pages in. Right now, there's been a lot of turmoil in my life, so I've been going a lot slower. But generally 5 weeks, it also gives me enough time to work on other projects, such as lettering for Blue Wanderer or for miscellaneous projects, such as this is the 65th anniversary of Joe Schultz's Peanuts. So Judy and I worked on a story together for a coffee table book, a tribute book. And it gives me time to do things like that. So 5 weeks is a nice working piece for me.
How does a fan go about acquiring original art from you?
They could go to Sakai.com. I don't sell story pages. They're going to a museum. But I do sell covers and miscellaneous drawings and things like that.
What is the strangest thing anyone's ever asked you to sign?
We'll go to the next one.
Okay. Well, it's pretty close to time to start the show, so I want to alert our staff who need a few minutes to get ready. Yeah, it looks like not like a question, but I think a really lovely sentiment. It says, we just want to say thank you for more than 30 years of bringing your stories and culture to children and adults alike. I think that sentiment is probably shared by most of the people in this audience. Thank you so much, Stan, for coming and visiting us. We're really looking forward to you being here at PCC. And thank you so much for the comics and also for what you're about to see tonight.
Oh, thank you.